Hey guys, this is Skeleton Steve. Welcome to another one of my chapter reading videos. This is a chapter from one of my Minecraft fiction books. If you like what you hear, check the description or follow the video link. There are probably more videos about this particular book. And if you're a fan of Minecraft fanfiction, then please go to skeletonsteve.com where you can learn more about my books and hopefully join my Skeleton Steve Club. Alright, now on to the reading. Minecraft Diary of a Creeper King, Day 2. I stayed with Skeleton Steve in the dark during the day. We were close to the jungle, and I thought it might be fun to walk along the border when the sun went down. We might even see some areas of the jungle that were dry enough to let us walk down into it for a while without having to cross any water. It would be nice to feel the warmth of the tropical forest. I hadn't visited the jungle in a long time. Another creeper passed by, and I was at least able to get his name, Carnook. But we didn't talk about much else. I tried to find out how old Carnook was, and where he lived, but, like all of the others, he scowled at me and went on his way. It was a little sad how difficult it was to communicate with my people. It's like we creepers were designed to never have anything to do with each other, and that was a pity. Creepers are natural-born explorers. We walk all day and all night, and I'm sure that there would be plenty to talk about if the others like me weren't so grumpy about having conversations. When the sun went down, Skeleton Steve and I walked to the next ridge over, where we could look down into the jungle. Even in the fading light, I was surprised at how green the area was. Some of the trees were squat and so thick that it made it hard to see the ground beneath them. And they were covered with vines that descended like green ropey sheets from the treetops. Other trees were massive and tall, popping out of the canopy with large clumps of leaves extending in multiple directions. I bet it rained a lot here. It was hard to see through the trees, but I could see water here and there down below. There must be rivers and pools all over. I could never live in the jungle. I don't like water. Never have. I've always had a hard time with the idea of floating on water. Even though I've seen other creepers swim before, I don't know how to swim, and I didn't know if I'd ever be able to figure it out. With my little legs, the idea of not being able to keep my head out of the water, the idea of splashing and struggling to get back to solid ground, my lungs filling up with water and splashing, struggling. No thanks. Just the thought of being stuck in water gets me all excited. I've always thought it would be better to avoid water altogether. As Skeleton Steve and I walked along the ridge, we looked out over the expanse of trees into the dense jungle below. The ridge descended gradually into an area of jungle that wasn't as thick. I hesitated. "It's okay," Skeleton Steve said. "I don't see anything bad in there. It's just part jungle. Do you want to see what it looks like inside?" I walked with him down into the tree line. Darkwood Forest was behind us now, just on the other side of the ridge. There were no rivers or pools in the immediate area, no water. We stood, peering into the depths of the jungle, and I was thinking about heading back to the forest when I saw movement. Green! Another creeper! I saw the distinct shape. Its head turned, a face like mine looking back at us from the darkness for just a moment before it turned again. "Hey!" I shouted. "Hello there!" The creeper stood still, then turned to look at us again. "Let's go in," I said. Skeleton Steve shrugged and followed me deeper into the jungle. We approached the creeper, and I called out to him again from a distance. "Hi there, fellow creeper. I'm Kuthka. Do you live here in the jungle?" As we continued making our way to my new friend through the heavy underbrush, I saw the creeper suddenly snap his attention to one side, then stagger back a few steps. I could hear him hiss, unsure at first, then again, intensely. The creeper fell back again, and I saw something on its chest, a blur of a creature, dim without color, but spots? The creeper was under attack? I was suddenly afraid, and faintly heard Skeleton Steve at my side pull out his bow and nock an arrow. The creeper hissed again, a continual, rising, sputtering sound. It was definitely an animal of some kind, a spotted creature, small, clawing, and biting at my intended friend. "Ocelot," Skeleton Steve said. Expanding and shaking, hissing even louder, the creeper suddenly exploded with a thunderous boom. "What? How did that?" Shocked, I stood, staring at the spot where the creeper and the ocelot were fighting, now a crater of raw dirt and shredded plants. And I felt fear wash over me again when I saw two white and yellow forms darting through the bushes, straight at me. Two more ocelots, little green eyes, focused on me. "Run!" Skeleton Steve yelled, and I stumbled backwards as an arrow suddenly struck one of the cats. It turned and sprinted off to Steve. As I focused on the ocelot about to attack me, trying to force my body to turn and run away back up the hill, my hearing seemed to tighten around my heartbeat. My vision darkened around the edges, and Skeleton Steve's shouted warnings suddenly seemed very far away. The ocelot leapt through the air at me, and I felt its claws and teeth sink into my body. I tried to turn and run, but it was hanging on to me. My hearing, now weird and hollow like I was in a deep cave, was focusing more on a hissing sound. I scrambled, tried to escape, tried to call for Skeleton Steve. "Steve! Save me!" An arrow appeared out of nowhere, sticking out of the ocelot's side, and the cat fell. I turned and saw Skeleton Steve knocking another arrow, aiming past me. I ran up the hill, turned, saw Skeleton Steve kill the ocelot. He ran to catch up to me, his bones rattling. We ran back up the hill, out of the jungle together, back up to the ridge. "Are you okay?" Skeleton Steve said. I could suddenly hear again, see again, like normal. "Yes," I said. What happened?" Skeleton Steve sat on the ridge, looking out over the jungle, his bow still in hand. "Those were ocelots," he said. "Mostly harmless animals. Strange that they attacked. Usually they mind their own business. I know they don't like creepers, but I have never seen them attack one before." "What happened to the creeper?" I asked. "It blew up." Skeleton Steve looked at me. "You don't know?" he asked. I shook my head. Skeleton Steve's glowing red dots of eyes looked me over. "That, blowing up, that's what creepers do. They explode. In self-defense, and also when they're attacking a Steve." "When they're attacking you?" "No," Skeleton Steve said. "A Steve." He looked off at the moon. "My name is Steve, yes, but there is another creature on this world named Steve as well. He's different than us." "But why explode?" I said. "That's all the creeper could do," Skeleton Steve said. "When the ocelot attacked him, he exploded in self-defense and killed it." I was so confused. Why would he defend himself by killing himself? "It doesn't make sense," I said. Skeleton Steve looked at me. "No one knows why creepers explode, Kuthka. There's no other way for them to defend themselves, really. And I've never seen a creeper really care. I've seen creepers launch themselves at Steve and happily blow up in his face." He regarded me for a moment. "You were about to explode too, you know. When that ocelot attacked you, I'm surprised you didn't, really." I looked down at my body, at the wounds where the cat had ripped at me. So that's what that was. When I was losing concentration, when my vision and my hearing changed, was I preparing to blow myself up? "Why didn't I explode?" I asked. "I don't know," Skeleton Steve said. "Maybe you're a little different? Maybe with how smart you are compared to other creepers I've seen, you're able to control yourself better? We'll have to look into that some more, so you can survive longer. I'd hate to lose you as my friend, if you ever get attacked again and blow up, or if we run into the Steve." What a twist to my pleasant little life roaming around in my forest. I had never seen a creeper explode before. I didn't even know it was possible. And now, there was a way that if I was freaked out enough, I could lose control of my mind and blow myself up too? No way, that's crazy. I had a life to live. I wanted to bring creeper kind together and learn more about our race. to learn more about our past and our culture, if there was one. Surely there was more to the creeper race than random solitary creatures that avoid having friends and then eventually blow themselves up. What could I do? I was defenseless. If Skeleton Steve wasn't with me, I would have been helpless and killed by those ocelots, or turned myself into a living bomb and ended up dead just the same. How can I defend myself? I muttered. We sat quietly for a few moments. The tall grass swayed in the night breeze. I have an idea, Skeleton Steve said. He was watching me as I sat, thinking. You are special, Kuthka. I'd like to see you learn to control your defense mechanism and be able to defend yourself properly, but you can't use weapons like me, and you can't run very fast. We should go and talk to the witch. Maybe she'll have an idea. Witch? I asked. Yes, Skeleton Steve said. There's a witch not too far from here, named Warla. I've dealt with her in the past, and she's very clever. She might be able to figure out why you're different. Maybe she'll have an idea about how to make it easier for you to survive without blowing yourself up one day. For the rest of the night, Skeleton Steve and I traveled to the edge of the forest that was closest to the swamp. Before the sun came up, we found a small cave and decided to wait out the day there. So that's it. Did you like it? Click on the link or check the description to continue to the next chapter. If you like the book so far, you can also find a link in the description below to the book on Amazon where it's free on KU. Love Minecraft? Please go to skeletonsteve.com and join my free Skeleton Steve Club. Fans and members of my free club will get access to lots of cool free Minecraft stuff like guidebooks, tips and tricks, world seeds, custom maps, game skins, and free copies of my fanfiction books like this one. That's skeletonsteve.com, and I'll see you at the next video.